Thanks for joining. So today we're going to do a 1-hour class that's going to be focused on releasing any back pain, back tension, and also strengthening your back, which is a prevention for general back pain. So if you have any back injuries, it's best to consult with a professional before you do any yoga sequences. But anyway, I'll adapt to different levels and I'll give you modifications. If you're more of a beginner, not to worry, you just go as far as you can without hurting yourself. So I have a couple of blocks. That's not necessary if you don't have any. If you have books, you can also use that. And a strap we'll just need at the end of the session. You can always use a towel if you need that. Otherwise, it's not an obligation. And you can always use a little cushion to sit back onto if you're tighter on your lower back or in your hamstrings. So with that, we're going to go ahead and start. So you can go ahead and sit down. If you need to, sit back on a little cushion, cross your legs, or otherwise sit back on your heels if that's more comfortable to you. So go ahead and bring your hands down on your knees and close your eyes. We're just going to take a minute here before we start going into the movements to come into the present moment and find our breath without changing it. Just feel how you're breathing here before we start. Just to see how you feel, what you're bringing on the mat today. It's always good to know where you're starting, know what you need to bring to yourself before you start moving. If you need more movement, if you need to center yourself, if you feel tired or energized, without any judgments. So I just wanted to lightly introduce that idea of ahimsa, which means non-violence in yoga. So the idea is to be non-violent towards others, but also towards yourself. So whatever you do and say, try not to have a negative judgment on whatever you feel. And also when we go into the postures, make sure you just don't judge yourself of how far you can go. Wherever you're going is good enough. And don't push yourself any further and bring yourself in this sort of frustration of not being able to get to where you want to. Find this contentment of where you are today and just thank yourself for just trying and coming on the mat and giving yourself this moment. So we're going to start taking some nice and deep breaths from here. I want you to inhale and exhale deeply through your nose. Take a big inhale, bring the air in your abdomen, in your stomach. You can bring a hand on your stomach if it helps. Inhale nice and deep. And exhale, relax the muscles, let the air come out. Inhale again. And exhale, nice and long and relaxed. Inhale again. And exhale, nice and long. So keep on going a few times here at your own rhythm. Just trying to slow down the pace. If you've been very busy, working all day long, doing your automatic tasks, I want you to reconnect here, slow down. You always have time to slow down, even if you don't believe it, you do. So just take this time to breathe. Sit up nice and straight. Release your shoulders back and down as you breathe and relax your face. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw. Your lips are not shut tight. You're just resting. Inhale nice and slow. And exhale deeply. Wonderful. And on the next inhale, you're going to blink your eyes back open. And we're going to start waking up the spine, the vertebra, with what is called spinal waves. So we're just going to give it a try if you've never done this before. I want you to take a big inhale and open your arms to the sides, open your fingers nice and wide and bring your chest forwards. Open up your chest and look up. And exhale, round your back, send your arms forward. Bring your chest in and the chin towards the chest. Inhale, open up. So it's this back and forth movement here. Exhale, round your back, tilt the pelvis in. Inhale, so you can imagine this kind of receiving of the energy and then giving it back. You're opening, receiving, and giving back as you exhale. And you can slowly feel this movement of the spine. So it's a bit of a cat-cow movement here, but sitting down. Inhale, open your chest, look up. Bring your shoulder blades back together. Exhale, round. You can go as slow as you need when you do this. And we're just getting the energy flowing here. And if you think it looks silly, well, just probably you're alone at home like I am. So there's no one to judge you but yourself. And like we said, there's no point in judging yourself. What's important is how this feels, which should feel quite nice. So inhale and exhale one more time. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, come to neutral. Should feel your arms nice and warm also. And we're going to inhale, reach up with our arms and forward. Bring your hands down to the ground. Reach forward. Release your head. And you're going to tiptoe your fingers over to the right side and bring your left hand over the right. So you can stay on the tips of your fingers. And you'll feel a nice stretch all the way down your left side. Release your head in between your arms. Send your exhale to that area of tension. If you feel any tension, just concentrate on that area. And tiptoe the fingers all the way to the other side, this time bringing the right hand over the left and release your head. Try to have your sitting bones as much as possible on the ground. So if you're tilting over to one side, then bring yourself up just a little bit so that you're still sitting with those sitting bones on the ground. And feel that nice stretch on your right side. Wonderful. And come back to center. And bring your hands under your shoulders. Bring yourself up. And we're going to come to standing. And from here, we're going to do the same movements of this spinal wave, but we're going to integrate the whole body. So we're going to integrate the legs in this kind of spinal wave. So you're going to inhale, bring your chest forward and bend your legs as you do this. Open up your arms to the side, shoulder blades come together. And exhale, tilt your pelvis in and slowly straighten your legs as you come back up. Inhale, open your chest, reach forward, tilt the pelvis out, bend the legs, and exhale, come back. So this might feel a bit strange the first time you do it, but just experiment with the movement, with your body. Don't be shy. And see what feels good for you. It doesn't have to be such a huge range of motion as I'm doing. Just the idea of waking up the spine, slowly waking up the legs also as you're bending and extending slowly, and going with the breath. Inhale as you open up, exhale as you round your back, and come back to standing. So it feels a bit different when you're doing it when you're standing. And if you lose the breath, you can just stop for a second, take a big inhale and exhale. So a couple more times here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale, and come to standing. Find stillness for a second. In Tadasana. Stand nice and tall, crown of the head is high. Wonderful. And from here, you're going to open your feet hips distance. Interlace your hands behind your back. Inhale, bring your hands down towards the ground and open your chest slightly. Exhale, fold forward. Keep your legs a little bit bent here and send your hands up and overhead. Release your neck. I want you to really focus on letting your head hang. And try to have that weight nicely distributed on your feet, a little bit more on the front than on the back. And focus on really not rounding your back too much. Try to feel the connection of the stomach onto your legs. And you can go yes and no with your head. Make sure you're really releasing it down to the ground. And slowly we're going to come back up. Imagine someone is pulling your hands back up and you're unwinding, slowly straightening your legs. And the head comes last. And all the blood comes rushing back down to your feet. Nice. So we're going to take just a couple sun salutations to warm up the entire body. Start getting the blood flowing everywhere. So bring your feet and legs together. Inhale, exhale your hands in prayer. Inhale, reach up with your arms, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold forward. You can still have your legs slightly bent. Release your hands next to your feet. Inhale, bring your right foot to the back of the mat and the knee to the ground. Look out in front of you. Press into the ground and come into a plank. Have your back nice and straight. Exhale, your knee, chest, and chin to the ground with the hips off of the ground. Inhale in cobra, so send your chest forward, bring your elbows back and down. Open that chest. Exhale, back into downward facing dog. Send your hips up towards the sky. If you're just doing your first downward facing dog of the day, you can bend your right and left leg just to start warming up those hamstrings. Open your shoulders away from the ears and really press into those hands and feet. And come back to center. You can keep a little bit of a bend in your legs if that feels more comfortable for you. The idea is to get your heels closer to the ground. However, that really depends on how it feels for you. You can always keep a micro bend and try to send your sitting bones up towards the sky, so you have this slight tilt of the tailbone. And we're going to inhale and bring that right foot to the front of the mat in between your hands and the back knee to the ground. Exhale the other foot to the front of the mat. Inhale, roll back up. Arms up towards the sky, look up, and exhale down. Inhale, exhale your hands in prayer. Inhale, shoot the hands up towards the sky, look up. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Release your head. Inhale, your left foot to the back of the mat, knee comes to the ground. Hold here in a plank, so really push into your shoulder blades so you're not sinking down into them. Exhale, your knee, chest, and chin to the ground. Inhale, cobra, open that chest. Press your hips into the ground. Exhale, downward facing dog again. Inhale, your left foot to the front of the mat. Exhale, the other foot. And roll back up to standing. And exhale, release your hands down. Come back to standing. Inhale and exhale. This time, your right leg to the back of the mat into a high lunge. So bend that front leg, really bend into it so you have a nice 90-degree angle, and your knee is neither behind nor over the toes. It's just over your ankle. If it's too tight in the back, you can slightly bend the back leg. Perfectly fine. And exhale, bring your hands down on the ground on the outside of the front foot. Now here, if you have blocks or books, and if it's more comfortable for you, you can bring your hands on those blocks. And we're going to take a few active stretches here. So we're going to inhale and exhale and slowly straighten that front leg. And try to fold forward on the leg. Inhale, bend into the leg, look forward again. And exhale, straighten the leg slowly. Inhale, exhale. If you don't have blocks, you can stay onto the fingertips. And your leg, your front leg doesn't need to be entirely straight. If you're really tight in your lower back, it's actually better to have it slightly bent. So do a couple more of these movements. Inhale, exhale. And as you exhale with the leg straightened, we're going to fold forward, release the forehead. Try to send your left hip towards the back of the mat and the right towards the front. So this is counter movement. So really feel that stretch. Wonderful. And bend back into that front leg and bring the back knee down on the ground. And we're going to come into a low lunge. So bring both hands on the front leg. Inhale, bring your hips up. And exhale, release them down. Sink those hips down towards the ground. Maintaining that lower belly nice and tight, so you're not falling down onto your front leg. You want your chest to be up, your hips. Just take a second here to breathe nice and deep and see how this feels. So we're taking a minute to open up the hips, because the tightness in the lower back can have a lot to do with the tightness in your hips, especially for us who tend to sit a lot, where we have all that tension in our hips and lower back. Breathe, send your exhale to that area in the hip flexors, lower back. Great. And with the next exhale, bring both of your hands to the inside of the front leg into a lizard pose. So you can stay here with the back knee on the ground, or tuck in the back toes and bring that back knee off the ground and just do a little bit of a movement here, back and forth. So we're a little bit lower here in the stretch. So it makes it a little bit more intense. Obviously, go to where it feels better for you. Listen to your body and don't see that as limitations. Just see it as it is without trying to go further than your possibilities. If you're more flexible, you can come down on your elbows. Tuck the back toes. You can use your blocks also to prop onto. It's also a possibility. And as you sink a little bit lower, try to go lower from the hips, not from the shoulders. So you're not sinking in the shoulders, you're still propping yourself up. Wonderful. And come back up on your hands if it's not already the case. And we're going to come into a twist. So you can do this twist with your knee on the ground, or bring the knee off the ground and you're bringing the right hand a little bit closer to your left foot and twist, look up, reach up with your left hand up towards the ceiling. And try to twist as much as possible, integrating the sacrum, so the whole lower back is also going into that twist, not just your shoulders. Press into that hand. Should feel a nice release in the lower back. And come back, so bring that hand back down to the ground and push back into downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale nice and deep. So you can probably already feel the difference on the right and left side. This time you're going to inhale your right foot to the front of the mat, and we're going to come to a high lunge on the other side. Inhale, bring your arms up towards the ceiling, bend into that front leg. And try to have those hips facing the front of the mat so you're not opening up to the side. Face the front of the mat, bend into the leg. You can always bend the back leg if it's too tight for you. And exhale your hands down on either side of the front foot. Same thing here, you have the option of using blocks if you have some, or you can come on the tips of your fingers. Inhale and exhale and straighten that front leg and fold forward onto the leg. Inhale, bend again, look forward. Exhale. So again, here a few times, this active stretch. Waking up those hamstrings. So I'm keeping the front foot flexed as it really also stretches out the calf. But you can keep the foot on the floor if that feels better for you. Inhale and exhale the last time. Stay a little bit longer here. Remember, you can bend the leg, it's a little bit, it's perfectly fine also. So don't try to cling to a certain physical aspect of the posture. And bend back into that leg and bring your back knee on the ground and bring both hands to the inside of the leg. We're coming into lizard pose, so you can stay here or take your back knee off the ground and start going back and forth a little bit. Really pressing into those hands. Change around the way you go back and forth, the way the circle goes. And come back to stillness. You can stay here or bring the knee back on the ground and bring your elbows down on the ground. So try to have your elbows in line with your back, your front heel. So just a second, my computer is telling me some updates. Always the right time. Go. Breathe into this nice hip opening, lower back release. And we're going to come into a twist on the other side. So come back onto your hands if it's not the case. And we can do the twist with the knee on the ground, or otherwise bring your knee off of the ground and twist. Reach up with your right hand towards the ceiling, look up. If it helps, you can also bring your hand on your abdomen, on your stomach, and really feel how it comes into the twist. So I always say when you go into a twist, try to twist from inside out. So we're really even integrating your organs into the twist. Keep on breathing. And bring that hand back down on the ground. And we're going to come lying on our stomach. I want you to bring your hands out in front of you, just slightly on the outside of the mat. And once again, we're going to try to do these spinal rolls. So we're going to try them in a lot of different ways. So this time you're lying on your stomach. Now I want you to inhale, open your chest and look up, and exhale, bring it back down to the ground. And you're using your fingers to press into the ground, and your shoulders are down. So you're not bringing them up to your ears. Bring it down and back as you look up, and exhale back down to the ground. So if you're having a hard time to get that movement, just take it a little bit slower. Pause and slow down, and it'll come easier. A few more times here. Inhale as you push and bring your chest up towards the sky and open. Exhale down to the ground. And bring your cheek onto the ground. Your arms go back to your sides. Release the muscles just for a second here. Let everything just release into the ground. Feel how your spine goes up and down as you breathe. Inhale and exhale. It's always a good moment to ask yourself, how is everything feeling? If you're getting frustrated with any postures that you're doing, if you're being judgmental with yourself, just notice that. Don't be hard on yourself. Just notice how you're reacting to certain challenges. And bring your forehead back onto the ground, and you're going to interlace your fingers behind your back. Inhale and exhale. Open your chest and reach with your hands like if someone was pulling your hands behind you. Relax your chest and open it up. And press your hips, your lower belly down into the ground. So your glutes are slightly tight here. So we're really opening up that chest, releasing that upper back. And release down to the ground. And put the other cheek onto the ground, look the opposite way. Wonderful. And now you're going to bring your elbows under your shoulders and tuck your toes in, and we're going to come into a low dolphin plank pose. So bring your hips up off of the ground and press your hands into the ground. So this is also challenging, mostly challenging for the abdominals. So I want you to tuck your lower stomach in. It's like if you're trying to tilt your pelvis in lightly, and try to have your back straight so your hips are not down towards the ground. We're up towards the ceiling. And imagine that you're long through the top of your head to your heels. You're reaching. Don't forget to breathe. Press your hands into the ground. Don't sink into your shoulders. Wonderful. And from here, we're going to come into a side plank. If you're able to hold, you can come into the side plank without bringing your knee to the ground. If you need to, please do, no shame. Bring your your knee to the ground and come onto your hand, open to the side, and bring your leg up off the ground with the foot flexed. This is also very, it works also on the abdominals. Otherwise, if you have the strength or if you feel like you can challenge yourself today without frustrating yourself, that's not the goal. Come into a side plank on your elbow with the knees off of the ground and maintaining a nice line, like going up from your heels up to your shoulder. So this is very good for people who have scoliosis problems. It's very good to relieve those symptoms. And we're going to switch over to the opposite side if you're able to without bringing those knees on the ground. And if you need to, please feel free to take the modification. Press your elbow into the ground. Breathe as deeply as possible. If you hold your breath, it'll make it tougher. And come back facing the ground and bring your knees on the ground. Take a child's pose. Extend your arms out in front of you and bring the forehead to the ground. Take a big inhale and a big exhale through the mouth. Take this moment to reset. You probably feel your shoulders firing. And we're going to come up into puppy pose. So bring your hips off of your heels and extend your arms out in front of you and bring your forehead to the ground. You can stay here. If you have blocks or books, you can bring them about shoulder distance apart in front of you and bring your elbows on the blocks to the front of the blocks and sink into your elbows. Bring your forehead to the ground and bend your arms, interlace your fingers over your head. So this is a wonderful opening for the upper back and the shoulders. Really let that chest sink into the ground. And slowly come out of the posture. Bring your hands under your shoulders and come up. Take the blocks out in front of you if you have any, and come to sitting. So if you need to, if you're tight in your lower back or your hamstrings, please feel free to sit on a little cushion here, or you can always lightly bend your legs. We're going to take a forward fold, so Paschimottanasana. So wherever you are, make yourself comfortable and take your sitting bones out from under you. Sit up nice and straight. Inhale, reach up with your arms. Exhale, reach forward, flex your feet. Slowly reach forward. And if you're not able to reach your toes, don't focus on that. You can bring your hands on your legs. It's not about how far you go, really. It's about how you feel. It's about how good it makes you feel. Are you feeling release, or are you feeling more tension? A little bit of tension is normal because we're really working into some very deep areas. So it's normal that it feels a bit strange, a bit different. We're just trying to find comfort in this type of discomfort, which doesn't sound great when you say it, but really it's a matter of patience. Be patient with yourself, be observant and compassionate. And release your head. When you feel you've reached that point where you can't go further without being in pain, release your head down. And remember not to clench your shoulders up. So you're not pulling with your arms. You're reaching forward with your chest and your lower back. Inhale and exhale a couple more times here. Nice and deep. And on the next inhale, reach forward with your arms in reverse. Sit back straight. Bring your hands down. And we're going to come into a reversed plank. So bring your hands just behind your back, a few inches behind your back, with the fingers pointing towards you. And you can either do this with your legs straight or bent. So if your legs are straight, you're going to inhale, exhale, push into your heels and bring your hips up towards the sky. Otherwise, you can bend your legs and push your hips up towards the sky. Whichever is better for you. You listen to your body. Inhale, exhale, push your hips up. And if that's comfortable for your neck, release your head back. So your glutes are working hard to push you up here. And release back down. Your head comes last. Wonderful. And we're going to take a nice twist. So bend your right leg over the left. Hug it in towards your chest and have that foot flat on the ground. Inhale, exhale, reach your right hand behind your back on the ground, and your left arm, elbow, is going to push into that right leg. So always inhale and exhale to come a little bit further into the twist and look back behind you. So try not to sink into your back shoulder here. Try to sit up as straight as possible. You can either have the left arm bent or straight and have the left foot flexed. This is also at the same time a really good massage for your digestive system. Obviously, best to do this without having too much food in your stomach, but it's not a drama if you do, but just a general recommendation. Inhale, come back and take a counter pose. So bring your hands to the ground and look back behind you. Bend your arms and come back, and we're going to change. Extend the right leg out in front of you and bend the left. Bring that foot flat on the ground on the outside of the right leg. And hug that leg into your chest. Flex the front foot. Inhale, exhale, bring that left hand back behind you. And with the right arm, you're going to lightly push into your leg and look back behind you. Same thing here, we're trying to twist from inside out. So as much as your arms here are helping you to get you into the twist, you're really twisting from the bottom, from the sitting bones up and from inside out. Look lightly behind you. You don't have to strain your neck looking all the way back. And breathe. At each exhale, go a little bit deeper in your twist. Last inhale, exhale. Inhale. Come back to center and little counter twist to the other side. Bring your hands down to the ground. Look back. Bend your arms. Bring your chest towards the ground. And come back to center. Now here we're just going to, if you have a strap or a towel, can be useful at this point. We're going to lie down onto our backs and keep the left leg bent and extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. And you can use the strap or the towel, or it can be a t-shirt, anything you want, and just wrap it behind in your foot here. Try to have it in the middle of the foot, not on the toes or on the heels, just in the middle part, and keep that foot flexed. And with an exhale, try to straighten it lightly. And we're going to try to bring that foot towards us. Try to have your hips on the ground. If you don't have anything of a type of strap, you can always wrap your hands behind your leg, behind your calf. And just lightly bring it closer to you. So as you do this, don't bring your shoulders off the ground. Just let them down, relax. And lightly, slowly release the leg and bring it to the ground. Straight out, flat on the ground. Just let the blood come back down to the foot and see how that feels. And bend that leg, right leg. Extend the left up towards the ceiling. And same thing here. You can wrap whatever it is that you have behind the foot. If you have anything, otherwise you can do it without having a strap also, there's no problem. Inhale and exhale, lightly bring that foot closer to you, flexing the foot. So there's always one side that might feel more flexible than the other, but that's normal. So we're not entirely symmetrical. Keep on breathing. So we're all, once again, working on our patience here, trying to be gentle with ourselves. And release that leg, take the strap out if you're using one, and bring your leg down on the ground just for a second. You should feel a really nice release in your hamstrings. From here, you're going to bend both legs and bring your right leg over the left with the foot flexed, and let your knee open towards the side, and bring the left foot off of the ground. Bring both of your hands behind the left leg, interlace your fingers, and release that leg down. You can just hang down, flex the right foot. Inhale and exhale. You're going to try to bring the leg towards you. So you should feel a nice opening in the outer right hip. And this is also wonderful for your lower back. So it's a gentle stretch, but it's very, very effective, releasing the psoas muscle, hip flexors, all that lower back area. If this is too much, just doing the stretch with the leg on the ground and your knee opening up to the side is already a stretch. So once again, you don't have to take it as far as I'm taking it. And slowly release that leg down to the ground if it's not the case, and change over to the other side. Bend the left leg over the right, flex your foot and open that leg towards the side. Bring your hands interlaced behind the right leg, and lightly bring that leg closer to your chest, always with the exhale. You can close your eyes here if it helps with the concentration. Relax the right leg, so you don't have to be flexing the right foot or anything. Just let it fall down. And relax your face, your shoulders. Couple more nice and deep breaths here. And the next exhale, you're going to bring your legs down to the ground and we're going to come to Shavasana. So extend your legs down on the ground. Open up your legs wide and let your feet fall to the sides. Open up your arms as wide as you want to the sides with your palms facing up towards the ceiling. And just here, roll your head from side to side, really releasing your neck. And when you're ready, come back to center. And find stillness. And we're just going to slowly scan over our body from the tips of our toes to the top of our head. You're going to try to send messages of relaxation to each of the different parts of your body, repeating to yourself the sentence, I relax my toes are relaxed. And as you do this, you'll feel everything just melting into the ground. Relax my feet are relaxed. Relax my calves, my knees, my thighs. My entire legs are completely relaxed. Relax my glutes. Relax my lower, upper, middle back. My entire back is relaxed. I relax my chest and shoulders. There's no more weight on your shoulders. Let them sink down to the ground. Relax my arms, my hands and my fingers. I relax my neck. My neck is relaxed. I relax my face, my cheeks, my forehead, my eyebrows. My eyelids are heavy on my eyeballs. My lips are completely relaxed. My nose. My entire body is completely relaxed. And stay here for a little bit longer. Imagine you're floating on a cloud. This is a moment just for yourself and nothing else. Nothing else to do in this present moment. You can stay as long as you want in Shavasana. Otherwise, we're slowly going to come back to your body. Take a big inhale and a big stretch. Start moving your body however it feels good for you. And roll over to your side. Keep your eyes closed. And when you're ready, you're going to come back to sitting. And we're going to finish with 3 ohms. Keep your eyes closed. Bring your hands in prayer. Take a big inhale. Inhale. And last time. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. I hope you like the class. You feel nice and relaxed. If you do, please feel free to leave any comments and to like the video and subscribe to the channel if it's not the case. The class is accessible to anyone. However, if you have the possibility, it's not an obligation, you can make a donation in the PayPal link that I put in the description of the video. Otherwise, I'm already very happy that you joined. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you very soon for the next class.